All eyes on Doge. Big run up to the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up to the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Wednesday afternoon, starting early, right after Tom Crown's coverage of the most important FOMC to date. No, it was kind of a nothing burger. It ended up being, but we did get a 25 basis point rate cut, and we did get word that quantitative tightening is going to be ending on December 1st. We'll go over that in a little bit, some of those details. But for now, you guys want to know, how come the price isn't going up? The price should be going up, right? The price should be rate cut. We should have price going up. So I'm zoomed out. And of course, I've got my purple boxes here. And everything is nice, tidy, orderly right within the purple box with just a little wick down for Dogecoin, Bitcoin as well. Kind of interesting, though. Dogecoin's in the green and Bitcoin's in the red. So Bitcoin in the red is kind of interesting today. I believe there was some manipulation there. Yes. And stock markets tanked during the FOMC as well. It's kind of interesting that stocks were going down like all at once. Some are recovering here that I'm looking at in the last half hour of stock trading. But for the most part, they went down too, while the DXY went up. Let's zoom in a little closer and let's take a look at how this played out here. You'll see on the Bitcoin chart, yep, that CME gap closed, Maramello. It did close with actually Bitcoin going down to 109. And you'll see this green circle here. So while Tom was going on and on and on, and we had the dip down to 109, I bought some Bitcoin. Now, my strategy has been to, here at the end of the 4-year cycle, is to accumulate more Bitcoin. I've got a lot of Doge. I could have bought some more Doge, but because Bitcoin was down 2% more than Doge, I saw that as a buying opportunity for Bitcoin. So, and that came at the expense this morning of some of our favorite was Peak. I woke up this morning and Peak had gone up 20%. And so I decided to take a loss on Peak and sell Peak. After this big run early in the morning, I woke up here, saw it coming up again, and I took my profits just below 10 cents on Peak. Now, I know some of you bought Peak because I bought Peak. You should never buy things because I buy them. It was a new project when I bought it last fall, just about a year ago, and it has done nothing but go down. So I sold that. And so I had the money sitting there waiting for the FOMC to see what would happen. And I bought Bitcoin on the dip down here. So that's what I did. Doge did drop below 19 cents on the wick down here. And then recovered back up, which was just a little volatility there. Again, there was some leverage, and we can look at the leverage in just a little bit and how all of that played out. But there certainly was, $127 million of Bitcoin long leverage trades that were wiped out in just the last hour. So it was definitely Bitcoin more than anything else that was getting manipulated during the FOMC in order to take out a bunch of long leverage trades. And we'll look at the heat maps in just a little bit. we also had the Trump token, Trump coin token, whatever you want to call it, actually going up, which is kind of interesting. It's up 14% for the day, and it didn't drop much. So I don't know what's going on with this and why this is continuing to move up over the past couple days, but it is. It's just one of those things. We are starting to see a little pullback now after FOMC is over. So kind of interesting that that is happening. We do look at Bitcoin dominance going down kind of all day. Bitcoin dominance has kind of been churning down. So this morning, Bitcoin went down, looked like some manipulation before FOMC. Bitcoin went up and then came down further and had a little crash, little wick down. And so Bitcoin dominance, instead of zooming up back over 60%, nope, it was going down. Not too much. I mean, we're zoomed in looking at this, and I still have my, I have a purple box too for Bitcoin dominance that we're watching. Doge versus Bitcoin was trending up today. Gold was coming down. So gold is dropping even more, and it's now at its lowest that it has been since, well, yesterday. It did this morning, came back up over 4,000, but then dropped this morning, leading into FOMC, had a little run, and then came back down harder for gold. Again, the DXY was going up, so this is the dollar. So that was kind of an inverse to what Bitcoin and gold were doing, with the dollar going up. And finally, we look at the stock market, and the stock market had a big red candle down. This was probably more volatile than anything was the stock market. S&P 500 dropped, recovered, and now is dropping into close right now. Same with NASDAQ, and same with the Dow Jones, dropping even lower actually now into the close, which is in about 20 minutes on the stocks. So that's the overview of the current market trading and conditions. So what happened today? Well, we did have, the Fed cut rates again. So it was a 25 basis point rate cut, which was a 99% probability, right? According to the, the CME FedWatch tool that we have been watching. So this is the overall federal funds rates for the last 20 years. So back in 2006, the rate was up above 5%. And then we just had the rate back up at 5%, 2023, 2024. So, so this is yet another rate cut here. Interesting that the last time there were significant rate cuts was after 2008 and the big financial crisis recession. And then we had, of course, the COVID rate cut, which nobody really calls a recession because it was this narrow little thing. But we did, of course, have the rate cuts drop practically to zero there. And now the rate cuts are coming down again, and we're not in a recession. So, interesting. And although there were questions asked of Chirpao about what about next month's FOMC, or the next FOMC, which is actually in early December, 6 weeks from now, if the government shutdown continues and they don't have the data, and he kind of danced around it. He didn't really answer it. So kind of interesting. Yeah, the 50-point cut wasn't going to happen, William. The Fed doesn't work that way. They're very conservative. And I don't think they wanted to shock the market and cause inflation or anything like that. So, it was as expected. So was it all already priced in? Looks like that was the case. But there was a little volatility that did happen. But fewer job reports, inflation reads, and economic indicators coming through. Officials are steering with fogged up glasses what's going to happen in December. So that's what a lot of the talk is going to be. But let's just end the government shutdown. Let's just end it. Let's get on. Democrats' approval ratings are going down. Kind of interesting during this time, especially next week when the lower income folks aren't getting their food stamps, not getting their precious EBT. It's like they're not going to be happy. There was some language in here about quantitative tightening ending. The committee decided to conclude the reduction of its aggregate securities holdings on December 1st. In other words, quantitative tightening is ending, right? Conclude the reduction of its aggregate securities holdings. As Chappelle said, to give the markets time to react. They could have done it now. The markets wouldn't care. It was like... But anyway, so that's the wording. That's the official wording for quantitative tightening ending. But they don't talk about quantitative easing, and that was not mentioned at all. So that kind of means easing would probably be 2026. And it's just like, hey, if they're doing easing in 2026, and 2026 is supposed to be when we're entering a bear market, how does that work? Kind of opposites. There is a red line comparison between the September FOMC and the October FOMC. And basically somebody just red lines, right, what they said last month versus what they said this month. And that's kind of boring. But that's out there if people are interested in the differences between September and October. There are these red line things, and you can just search on X for FOMC statement red line, and this comes up if you're into that kind of thing. Meanwhile, beginning on December 1st, reinvest all principal payments from the Federal Reserve's holdings of agency securities into Treasury bills. That's basically lightening the balance sheet. Quantitative tightening ending, another way to say that. So the Fed announced they're no longer reducing their balance sheet, right? That's going to come to an end, right? They're finishing that. The next step, likely in 2026, is quantitative easing, which will be required to bring down long-term interest rates. So we'll see how that plays out. As Kevin Svensson says, looks, altcoins only rise when the Fed isn't doing quantitative tightening, or QT. The same goes for the Russell 2000. However, the Russell is kind of at its all-time high. Some alts just have never done anything. Other alts are waiting. So it's kind of interesting. Here we are, quantitative tightening ending, but yet total 3 and the Russell are near all-time highs. Is this a coincidence? Nope. When the Fed's balance sheet stops shrinking, risk assets pump. So does this mean 2026 is not going to be a bear market? And we're getting an compo extended. It's going to be an extended cycle. This is what appears to be happening, that we may have ourselves an extended cycle. That's what this is pointing to. So will be an interesting time. Once it keeps going up in January and February, nobody's going to have their 4-year cycle charts to be referring to anymore. And we're going to be like, what? Oh, what do we do now? So that'll be interesting to watch. And meanwhile, again, for those just coming in, we had $127 million of Bitcoin long leverage trades wiped out, liquidated, as the CME gap closed, the one we were talking about yesterday, down to 111, price actually down to 110 into the 109s. And that is where I scooped up some Bitcoin on that big dip. That was my purchase down here of Bitcoin at about 109.3, 109.4. I caught the bottom there. So that was good for me, buying on that dip. That's what I did. Dogecoin also did have a dip down to about 18.7, 18.8. Very short-lived, came right back over 19. However, when you zoom out, you're like, yeah, Still in Kriss's purple box. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Will the purple boxes go all the way into January? They might, Charlotte. I'll just keep shifting them to the right as long as we're just chopping around. I kind of think that could happen because of the government shutdown. If it gets extended, like everybody's just going to be waiting, and this is going to be boring. I mean, Saturday, I'm going to be doing my Dogecoin price prediction video. If on Saturday morning, Dogecoin is at 20 cents, then what is my prediction for end of January? Probably 20 cents, right? It's just flat. And that's going to be so boring. That's going to be so boring. Going the whole month just chopping around in Kriss's purple boxes. But it's a future we may have. It's a future we may have. This is a swing trader's dream here. If you want to swing trade, you can just scalp high, scalp low, up and down, buy, sell. This is what we typically see in the summer, but it has been practically almost 3 weeks now. On Friday, it'll be 3 weeks since the big flash crash of October 10th. Of course, we are going to be celebrating not Halloween, but Dogeoween. Yes, we will be celebrating Dogeoween on Friday. So can't wait for that. That'll be a little bit earlier of a stream because I need to have the stream done before the trick-or-treaters come. So we'll be doing an earlier Friday stream before All Hallows Eve starts. That'll be Dogeoween on Friday. Dogeoween. But kind of interesting, Dogecoin is even for the day, and Bitcoin is down 2%. We rarely see that. When Bitcoin's in the red, Dogecoin is usually further in the red than Bitcoin. And that is not the case today. Kind of interesting. Of course, I always point my fingers back to, right, the liquidations. And we'll see on the liquidation heat map what happened with the big drop today, taking out all this leverage. Actually, let's take a look at the 3-day because that shows a little more of what happened. On the 3-day, you'll see on the heat map, like all of this leverage that had been piling up. That's some even longer than the 3-day. When's the last time Bitcoin was at 109? Let's look at the weekly. There we go, the weekly. Oh, it did not quite hit 108 though, where there's $90 million at 108.8. If I had seen that, I would have been waiting for Bitcoin to hit that. Glad I didn't see that. But they got a lot. They did get a lot on the way down. More big shorts coming in up here at 116. So we'll be watching that. But right now it's like the fall off today and then the volatility during FOMC took out hundreds of millions of dollars of long leverage trades. So that is the summary. Basically what happened. Tom Crown's channel. Tom did another great job again. Although I felt it was kind of boring this time. It was just kind of boring. There wasn't any action. Powell just seemed like matter of fact, this is what it is, 25 basis point rate cut, no big deal. And we were like 25, yeah, it's a rate cut, let's go. And he was like, nope, not having it. He was not having it. So, any KrissPax costumes? Oh, yes, that was the flash crash that created the purple box. It's right there. Yep. And since that recovery, it's like everything. For those that haven't seen, you look at Algorand, purple box. You look at Solana, purple box. You see Cardano, purple box. HBAR crawled out of the purple box because of the ETF the other day that launched. And it has not gone back in. So it's holding up here. And that's about the only one, except for Trump token. SHIB in the box. Litecoin tried to climb out, didn't make it, still in the box. VeChain is down at the bottom of the box. XRP is up at the top of the box, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're almost all in the box. What time is the Dogecoin on Friday? It's going to be 3 o'clock East Coast time, which will be noon Pacific time. Noon Pacific time. All right. Enjoy your lunch with KrissPax over there in California or Oregon or Washington or wherever you are on the Pacific coast. I'm a swing trader, and yes, I've been loving this action. Yep. If you're swing trading, this sideways chop is pretty good. Best things come to those who wait, but how long? Don't worry, Doge will go up because I can't afford it not to. The Launch, how are you? This is going nowhere. Nobody can predict any of this anymore in the slightest. That's right. That's right. We're following along. We're trying to find the bits of news, the strategies, anything of how we're going to trade this going forward. And with the government shutdown and the uncertainties, we think the U.S.-China thing is going to be solved overnight. Trump is meeting with Xi, right? So that'll be another thing, check off the box, right? But the government shutdown continuing here in the United States is just going to leave things with this big cloud of uncertainty. So, yeah. I need y'all to buy so I can get out. The 4-year cycle is a number of things. The Bitcoin halving rewards is one of those things, but there's also like US presidential elections every 4 years. We've generally had a money cycle of every 4 years. And what Raoul Pal is saying is that money cycle going into the business cycle actually ended up being a bit delayed this year. And so he's looking at a 5-year cycle for this current cycle going at least into April of 2026. And you can check that out over with Raoul Pal, the journeyman, if you're interested in his theory on that. Kind of interesting, right? Following the business cycle. And right now, a lot of this data that we're getting from the Fed, quantitative tightening ending December 1st, with easing starting probably early 2026, kind of means the market conditions may still be good enough to keep the markets up into 2026. No immediate bear market. That's the way it's looking right now. Kind of interesting. Ion placed a limit order at 106. I just bought on market at 109.3. I just did I wanted to catch the dip. I didn't want to be waiting for a lower price. So I did a market order at 109.3 and it filled right there. And that was right at the bottom of the wick here on Bitcoin. So I felt that was a good thing to do. And yes, 106 is very much a possibility down here. We just had that on the 22nd a week ago. That's where Bitcoin dipped to. So that makes sense to come down and revisit that. I just don't know whether for sure that's going to happen. And I just wanted to get the trade done. So I do market buys at times like this. So that's what I did for Bitcoin. So, I'm not going to watch horror movies on Halloween to get a scare. I'll just look at my crypto wallet. Yeah, Trip. Yeah. Sebastian, I am dressing up as a McDonald's arches. Chirpow. Yeah, Chirpow he's kind of boring today. I don't know. That's how I felt about it. Smash the like, subscribe. Thank you, Sunshine, for the reminder for everyone. Smash the likes, subscribe. Wasn't that sell off the typical buy the news, sell the rumor kind of thing? Sell the rumor, buy the news, but then dump as well. Typical little FOMC Wednesday volatility. Yeah, or buy the rumor, sell, whatever, right? I can't wait to sell high and then forget about crypto for a while. There's something to say about that. Kriss will be handing out Dogecoins if you trick or treat at his house. I don't know what the kids would know what to do with that. California has been mentioned. I am summoned. That's noon your time, Nick, for Dogecoin, the Dogecoin live stream on Friday. Dogecoin. Matt, I used to like the color purple. As we were joking on X earlier, it's like you start like dreaming of the color purple and like liquidation heat maps, and also in your dreams you start hearing the pings, like the pinger going off in your dreams, and you're just like, what's going on? Prince would be proud of me with the purple. Yeah. Purple rain, purple rain. Do I hold any Zora? I do not. I'm not into the whole Zora project at all. Go check out James Wynn if you want to know anything about Zora. I'm not interested. I'm just not. Automatically launching crypto tokens. It's like, what? We don't need more stupid crypto tokens. We don't need them. We don't need them. We don't need them. Will we have to wait till Powell's out? No, I don't think so, Will. The market's going to do what the market's going to do. It's not going to depend on Powell. But, you know, he's there till May. So the last FOMC meeting he will be chairing is going to be April's. And then they take a break in May until June 2026. And in May, that's when his contract is up. Powell's replacement. It sounds like Trump wants to make that selection by the end of this year, but he's got a lot of other things going on. Well, Dr. Doge, we don't know whether that 500 million Dogecoins were dumped by whales or they were just transfers. You see that stuff in the news or someone posting on X, and they don't know the difference between a sale and a transfer. So every time I read one of those, I'm just like, they have no freaking idea. Charlotte, the drive is better with Kriss in the background. Well, have a safe drive home, Charlotte. Safe drive home. Powell is a Fed tool. No, he's kind of the chair, right? And there are like 12 governors. So I guess 10 of the governors voted for a 25 BPS rate cut. One, which was Powell's or Trump's appointee, voted for a 50 basis point rate cut. And then one other actually voted to hold the interest rates level. So this is the second month in a row where not all of the 12 governors were aligned in their thinking. Not a big deal. Someone in their Q&A was trying to make a big deal, and it was like, not a big deal. I know for some reason the meme coins didn't tank like Bitcoin did. That just never happens. Yeah, that's amazing. Exactly. It's just, no, it didn't. So it's kind of interesting. Where Bitcoin was, I mean, Bitcoin just really tanked. Again, that's the manipulation of Bitcoin that was going on. But the memes didn't follow quite as bad there. So it's kind of interesting. Hey, Christian, do you know how a crypto ATM works? Do they give you a code or a paper to scan? I don't. I've never used a crypto ATM. My understanding is when you buy it, you basically get a paper wallet. I'm not sure of that. I've just heard that. The Bitcoin you buy is in a paper wallet. And you just take it from there. But I've never done that. I buy on an exchange. I don't buy from an ATM. I don't have this need when like I'm on vacation somewhere and there's a Bitcoin ATM. It's like, oh, I think I'll buy some Bitcoin. That never happens. I've seen them, but I'm just like, no. Manel is tired. Yes, master. They did a 25 basis point rate cut as expected. Hello, Raiden. How are you? How are you? Danny has Doge diabetes. I like the D's, though. I like the D's. Come on, Doge. It's getting very boring. Elon gives us hints. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. Yeah, the hints are out there. It's just today we're just kind of bouncing around sideways. Not much else going on the heat map. We can take a look at the we can look at what Dogecoin did, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as Bitcoin, because all the money was on Bitcoin longs. And who's holding Bitcoin longs through an FOMC? So the first drop did take out some Doge leverage longs. It's just these dollar amounts aren't anywhere near as much as the, what was it, $120 million on Bitcoin. Doge was $4 million. 4 million for Doge, 120 million for Bitcoin in just the last hour. So it was mainly a Bitcoin thing, but ETH almost 100 million. Pretty big for ETH as well. But Doge did have a number of long leverage liquidations as well, and some new shorters come in, but not with any really big dollars. But they're up there. They're up there. I was thinking that this morning, as Bitcoin was going down, that it was probably the dip before a rip, and the rip never happened. It just dipped more, recovered, and then now it's just kind of going to bleed out sideways, I think. But Bitcoin did close the CME gap that we looked at yesterday. If anybody's interested in that, we could take a look at it, that it was indeed closed. And this morning, of course, the FedWatch CME graph was showing a 99% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut. That is indeed what happened. And for those that didn't hear earlier, I did sell my peak tokens. It was for quite a loss, but it was up 20% today. I mean, it was up 20%. And I was just like, okay, I'm selling. And then I waited until the FOMC to buy back in, and I bought Bitcoin at the bottom of that wick right there at 109.3. So, and this is my longer term strategy of holding Bitcoin and Dogecoin longer term and getting out of everything else. So if the opportunity is there to buy Bitcoin on a dip, I'll buy Bitcoin. If it's looks to be more advantageous to buy some Doge on the dip, I would buy Doge. But today, Bitcoin down 2% and Doge is even. It was like, yeah, this is better to buy Bitcoin here. And so that's what I did. It was only like $2,000 worth, but it was like 0.015 Bitcoin. So just add it right to my holdings a little bit more as I wean myself off of the other alts. That's what I am doing. And now it's just going to kind of bounce around to 110 area, it looks like, for Bitcoin, and back to 19.5 for Dogecoin. Jacob, you feel bad for Snoopy hiding in the corner. Yeah, that's just where he's been. He's still just hanging out, peeking around the corner. Raiden's in Tangier. Well, good evening to you, Raiden. So was there a rate cut? Yes, 25 basis point as predicted. Check the IWM daily chart. Today, low wick was the 2021 high, and it held as support. IWM. The iShares Russell 2000 ETF on the daily. There's the 2024 high. The wick touches it, yes. And that also, this doesn't go back far enough. This chart doesn't go back to 2021, but 2024, yes. I guess that's what you mean, right? As it churned up from 2021 into 2024, it hit a high right there of 244, and that was the level of the wick. Got it. Yep. Funny how that happens sometimes, right? Interesting, though, that the Russell will go higher with quantitative easing. So that points to like January, February of having small cap stocks move up even higher. And Russell's already at an all-time high. Interesting. Interesting. Dan says every time there's a date anticipating something, even if it's positive, the market dumps. Well, this happens every FOMC. Every time there's this kind of movement up and down. It happens every time. That's why Tom always says, don't leverage trade on FOMC day. Don't do it because you can get taken out high or low. So, yeah. Fat Sonic, I have zero skin in this market right now, waiting. There's a lot of people like that, a lot of cash on the sidelines, waiting to see what happens. Exactly. And yes, not too volatile for an FOMC. My new end of the month price prediction, 20 cents. 20 cents. Unfortunately. And that may be November as well. Are we cooked, Ryan? Are we cooked? No, we're just in our purple boxes. All nice and tidy. Just right where we've been. Why wean yourself off? Sell it once. My other alts are just, I mean, Bonk was going up. Bonk was looking good. But it didn't go up 20% today like Peak did. So Peak went up 20% today. So I booked the profit of the day, which was a total loss actually from when I bought Peak. But that plays into some tax loss harvesting because I've got so many profits this year to book a few losses for this calendar year helps reduce my capital gains. So I'm doing that as well. November might be the month Doge starts barking. Compo still holding Trump and Peak collectibles. Both of them went up today. Trump 15%, Peak 20%. If I had Trump tokens, I probably would have sold them too. The same spot was the 2021 high. Yeah, I don't know why that on TradingView it didn't go back further, but that would have been interesting to see. Will the delay in this year's bull cycle lead to a delay in the beginning of the bear market? Yes, Matt, it will. It will. The Russell sounding like VP. He asked for it. My only highlight is being up $50 on Zone. Zone is like, oh, weak. Zone has been weak. Stock market just closed 10 minutes ago. Where did Zone end up? $1.11. $1.11. Hey, Lolavec, thank you for the super chat. My November price prediction is almost here. Yes, that will be Saturday's video. Saturday, I will be doing my November price prediction. October was so off. Rip, exactly right. Rip on the October price prediction. Yes. Hey, Mario, how are you? Hey, thoughts on ZBEC network? I believe it's the next 100X ISO 20022 compliant. Hints at partnerships with XRP. That last part is probably made up. I hear a lot of that stuff, and it's just like, you know. ZBCN, the ZBEC network, sitting at 0.003. Back in April, it was 0.008, and it's had quite a bit of run here in June. I don't know what happened in June. This thing went wild. But hasn't completely sold all the way off since then, which is interesting. Typically, you'd see this come right back down and then maybe go sideways here. But it traded back up in July and is holding pretty well. But 100X? Maybe 10? You get to 3 cents, that would be awesome. I mean, we saw Jasmy do the same thing from 0.003 to 3 cents. That I would kind of look at maybe that being a little more realistic than 100X. But you never know with these things. Something can just all of a sudden catch on and off it goes. That is true. Thanks for the super chat. Joe is going to go as a purple box for Halloween. The purple box. Not cooked, we're stucked. Yeah. Everyone hold till mid-December. I need to take a majority of money out by then. Going on my previous luck, you'll all be going to the moon the day. Sometimes that happens, but I get it. When you decide to sell, you sell, right? Yep. Doge is holding okay. Diverging a bit from Bitcoin today. Exactly. And that's why I bought Bitcoin on the dip instead of Doge, because Bitcoin was down more today. That just doesn't happen. So I was like, I'm going to take advantage of that. How about Aster? I haven't looked at Aster today. See what it did. Not that one. I hit the wrong one. There's my Aster chart. It dropped to $1. It was down a little below $1 this morning. Yeah, it just continues to kind of go down from the $2 where it was trading here at the beginning of October. So again, it's lost half its value for the month of October. Everybody was talking about Aster, end of September into October, and now nobody's talking about Aster because it lost half its value. Ouch. Yeah. Volume has just, look at the volume. The volume has just steadily gone down, 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 down on the volume. Look at that. So I guess the whole CZ Aster thing has kind of run its course. Who knows about something like this, right? When you least expect it, it could take off. But that's what I see right now on the chart. It's like volume has just been steadily going down for a month now. A month and a week, 5 weeks. We're just down. That's what I see on Aster. Well, Doge hangs out in its purple box. Nate, how are you? More dumpage? Always, Jack. Take advantage of it. Buy on the dip, right? Not on Doge. There's no dumpage. It's just sideways. This is a 4-hour chart. It's just sideways. Sideways. I watched Doge 100x right before my eyes from 3K to 1 million in the same year. It's crypto. It can happen. Yep. 2021 was a wild year for Doge. And then, yeah, it did a, no, not down to 100x. 100x. Yeah, but Doge can do that. What is my number one reason to remain bullish on Doge? X money. X money is my number one reason. Whenever Elon and his team get ready to officially launch X money, Dogecoin is going to pump. That's what I think. Doge won't be on it, but it'll pump anyway. Jason's here. Purple, purple, right, Nate? Purple, purple. No government open yet? Nope. Some is best. I just went through orientation for a company that's taking over my current employer. Exec said one of his goals is to get all of us full-time employees to a livable wage. So that means you're not making a livable wage now? Is that what he's telling you? You're not making a livable wage? Or does he think you're making too much and he wants to lower your salary to a livable wage because you're getting overpaid, right? Good luck. I don't know. Whenever there's a takeover, weird things happen. So be careful. Good luck to you. Good luck. What about Clash? I do not follow that. That's the George thing. I don't even know if it's on TradingView. Is it? Is this the Clash thing? It could be this could be a totally different Clash thing. Yeah, this is a different thing. Is he on CoinMarketCap? This is the George plays Clash, right? And that's the Clash you're talking about, right? Yeah, George plays Clash. There it is. $0.05. And since the initial hype, it kind of started selling off, people taking profits. And then about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, it started trading back up. So yeah, it's kind of around this 5-6 cent range. Hey, it's good to see, right? That it didn't just completely sell off and die. So good for George. You know, good for George. This looks like a good project so far. It's a good month. Up 450% for the month if you bought when it started, right? So that's good. Do you own any of this? These Clash tokens? 7,000 holders. Its market cap is 53 million. Is that right? Wow. Good for George. That's awesome. 53 million. It is trading on MEXC. Look at that. How did he get listed on MEXC? I would have expected this just would have been Pump and Meteora, Radium. But he's on MEXC. Wow, good for him. In 2021, I wake up and portfolio goes up 50%. Yeah, 2021 was a different year there, Jack. With all of the stimmy checks. Remember that? Everybody sitting at home. 2025 is not the same. Oh, Gappy, you got into zone at $1.06. Yeah. Well, I got in at $1.77. So, and I thought that was a dip. So I am down. I'm down. I wonder if the market will take notice of how well Doge held up. I mean, it looks like nothing happened today when you're on the 4-hour chart. There's just nothing. Hey, DB, how are you? Mego, $1.40. Moving a little bit after market, up to $1.50 or so. Yeah, a little excitement after market on Mego. Looks like it hit $1.60. Interesting. I don't have Mego because I'm stuck in zone. If Mego drops all the way down to like $1.30, I'll probably sell the zone for a loss and then try and make it back in Mego. Doge didn't sell off so bad because it simply had less sellers. Probably. It also wasn't getting manipulated by the market makers like Bitcoin was today, I think. Nope, don't hold any. Fell to 2 cents, thought I'd buy after I got home. Now it's around 6. Yep. It looks like it's holding up very well. So congrats to George. What do I think about Zcash? I have no idea why Zcash just continues to go up. I can't explain it. $360. Why a chart like this for Zcash? I have no idea. But this is an amazing run by this coin. Does it have a privacy thing, or is it, I don't know what's going on with this. But that is an amazing month of October. That's for sure. Up 450% for the month. Zcash. CZ is pumping Trump coin. Oh, Gappy, that explains it. I was wondering why Trump was going up. Gold, sure. Look at gold. Gold was going back down a bit today. Yep. So had a little mini pump last night, up over 4,000 and then back down. So here's our little smiley face at the all-time high, right? Double top. Those are the eyes, right? It's just what I do in my charts, right? Just to have a little fun. So $4,380 is the all-time high. The yellow line is 4,000. I thought once we dip below 4,000, we would come back and retest it as resistance. It actually came up a little bit more, though. But yeah, the big gold fun is probably over. Gold will probably kind of trade out sideways. A lot of people were buying up here, though. We saw them lined up in the streets in all those pictures, and they bought the top. A lot of people predicting gold will just turn back around, go higher, maybe to 5,000. Who knows? But that is gold. We like Megal T because every once in a while it goes nuts. You can double your money. Seriously. Usually aftermarket or pre-market. It just goes nuts. Today was a little pump aftermarket. Looks like the highest it got was $1.63. So that was like a 10%, maybe a little more. But I mean, I woke up one morning and it was over $2. It was like $2.50 pre-market. And it's just like you hold and you wait for that event to happen and then you sell. It's a swing trading dream is Megal. Polygon. Nobody talks about Paul. Nobody talks about it. It has a purple box that probably is similar to all the other purple boxes. Let me just check and see if that percentage is the same. Most likely it's 15, 16%. That one's a little tighter, only 13%. So to be even with the others, I'll just expand it just a little bit because I have them all about the same. Yep, 16% there. So yeah, it's just sideways as well. Not much volatility today. Right now, I'm just looking at everything back to October 10th because anything before that now doesn't matter after the big liquidation event. So that's what I'm looking at. Pump has been pumping. Yes, indeed. Pump has been pumping. It's out of the purple box. Look at that. Out of the purple box and going up higher. I don't own any of this anymore. I already transferred my pump profits into Bitcoin. And that was right there at 008 is where I sold mine, right there. And I put that into Bitcoin on September 13th. But that was a good run all the way from down here. I had my fib tool. I was doing all this work. My fib tool, right? And I was like, after that big pump, I was like, yeah, I'm taking that profit there, booking it. I'm good. But yeah, this is coming back up. DB needs to go to Thailand. Beware of the lady boys. Yes, indeed. What about XCN? No one has talked about XCN in a long time. Are you holding some there, Charles? You're holding. Oh, this is not a good chart. Not a good chart at all. I can already tell. Not a good chart. Let's see what that percentage is. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit less than that on XCN. That's pretty weak. And there's no volume. Nobody's trading this thing. And yeah, we looked at this before after the big run in April, and we were tracking this downward resistance line here, and it just hasn't recovered. So yeah, this just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, my friend. Doge is holding up very well. Good afternoon. Back in the box. Yes. If Doge rips, Zone should too. You would think, Nick, right? It doesn't. The stock is just weak. Weak. Zcash is a privacy token. Monero has been delisted from major exchanges for a long time. Yeah. How would you feel if Trump pardoned SBF? He has no reason to pardon him. There'd be no reason to. He was guilty. He had a fair trial, and he was guilty. So pardoning CZ was different because CZ himself didn't really do anything. It was Binance. He was the CEO of Binance. It was the company. He took the fall, went to jail. I don't know about that. Your last girlfriend was Thai. Awesome person, amazing, but not a good match. Yeah. As we find out more about DB, exactly, Charlotte. These eyes are becoming really in use. We're all just looking at the eyes. Right? We're watching. TB meant to say she's a Thai fighter. But do the lady boys accept Doge? No, there you go, right? That would be Dogecoin adoption right there. Dogecoin adoption. Goose says no to Thailand, but yes to the Philippines. And Ryan says French women are nice. Ryan has good taste. DBR. Somebody was asking about DBR yesterday. I was in the middle of, my mind was like totally somewhere else. It's on Coinbase. I don't see a Coinbase chart for DBR. Normally when it gets listed, a chart shows up. And I don't see one. DBR. Well, it's had a nice little pump past few days. That's probably why somebody was asking about it. 40% pump. I don't even know what DBR does. D-Bridge. D-Bridge. Yep, Coinbase listing. And a 40% pump. It goes all the way down to $1.38 again now. So that little pump, just nothing. Nothing there. And the meme coins are looking good compared to Bitcoin today. I know, right? Bitcoin is down 1.5. Doge is up a point. Pepe is up 3%. Had a nice wick down and just came all the way back up on Pepe. Well, right. CZ helped out the World Liberty Finance, right? Bought a bunch of that USD1 so-called stablecoin, right? And word gets around. We all know how that game is played. Is there a new expected high for Doge? Not right now. We're in a wait and see mode. Wait and see mode. 19.5 cents. Boring. Boring. I'm kind of excited for the China meeting here, Christian, because I think it's just going to be good. And I think good news will come out of it. So tomorrow we'll be sitting here saying, yep, that was good. And I think the markets will go up a little. That's what I think is going to happen. Ramses needs 50 cent Doge. The box is giving me PTSD. The delay in the market the bull market would cause it to have less time for the bull market to run its course. Yeah, we don't know, Matt. This is all new. It is true, but he still shouldn't have gotten a pardon. I mean, he was already out of jail, right? Why did he need a pardon? He served his time. He got out. Dogecoin is a joke. And Ryan says, no, you. I don't see everything ripping. It is not the most bearish asset. Khan, what's your problem today, dude? Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Did you have nightmares about purple boxes and liquidation heat maps? Just curious, because Dogecoin has outperformed Bitcoin today by 2.5 points. So you're kind of wrong today. Kind of wrong. He's just trolling, Gurinder. Oh, he's angry. I get it. Well, this isn't a good place to be trolling in your anger. You know I don't like that. All right? So let's keep it real. And Elon isn't the best at keeping schedules. Yes, I say that a lot. He said X money this year. And so did Linda Yaccarino, who had the whole slide deck. And that's what she was like. That's what she was saying. So I'm like, this year. Not financial advice. Should I try and swing peak? It's looking like it. It's looking like it. I don't know if it can stay up. It's still here at 969. It didn't hit 10 cents. And, you know, this 20% pump just, I don't trust it. But that's not financial advice. Yeah, 1.5. It fluctuates. I just say 1.5. Sky limit, you want to see ADA? Sure, ADA is, guess where? Purple box. Totally sideways, like every other crypto. In fact, it's like right in the middle. It's right in the middle. Just nothing going on. 2.5 weeks now. Friday, it'll be 3 weeks. And it's just sideways. Gurinder, today is not the day to be doing props. Even Tom Crown said it. Says, do not on FOMC day. Nope. They get the shorts, they get the longs. Hey, Morteza. Chirpow is your nightmare. Javier. Chirpow. Needs to see the data. I need to see the data. It's a bad sign if we consolidate too long after a big red candle and dip. No. Nope. Some could call this accumulation, right? Accumulate here because it's going to go up. That's what I think is going to happen. But I'll tell you more about that on Saturday. Khan, you thought the crypto was going to pump today. Well, you didn't ask me. You should have asked me, and I would have told you what happened. Feels like April. No, April was almost 3 weeks ago since that happened. Now it's just sideways. It's boring. Boring. Why is everyone waiting on X money? We're not even sure if they'll use Dogecoin. Not everyone is waiting on X money, but I am. I think it's going to be good. They will not use Dogecoin on day one. They might in the future, but just the thought of that is enough to pump the Dogecoin price. All right? That's how Dogecoin trades. Elon bought Twitter. Remember that? 2022? Dogecoin doubled in price. It had nothing to do with Dogecoin other than the thought that maybe Elon will use Dogecoin on Twitter at one point in the future. So Dogecoin doubled in price. It was nothing actually happening with Dogecoin. It was just that Elon bought Twitter. So it would be one of those things. X money launches, Dogecoin price pumps. That's what I think is going to happen, even though Dogecoin isn't on it. And all the trolls are going to come out, like Khan and others are going to say, oh, Dogecoin sucks. It's not even on X money. And I said, I didn't say it was going to be on X money. You got to listen to me. It's not going to be on X money when X money launches. It's not going to be there. Don't have an expectation that it is. But Dogecoin can still pump. Anyway, that is how I see it. Yeah, the bank treasury. Yeah, we talked about this on Monday, I think. The bank treasury. Yeah. The joke coin has a higher market cap than Suzuki Motor Company. Not so much of a joke anymore. My purple predictor for Halloween, yeah, Ron, it's probably still going to be in the box. Might be more on the upside of the box than the middle of the box. Maybe like 20 cents. Can we get 20.5? Leave your anger outside. Oh, Charlotte, smash your iPad. Yeah, it was kind of a snooze fest today. The FOMC Q&A was like, ugh. Does AVAX have the same situation? Yes. Absolutely. It's kind of in the lower end of the box. But yep, AVAX is the same. You just sold the peak. 969, right? Did you get 969? It's a good number. 969. See what happens, Raiden. Now, I bought Bitcoin at 1093 is what I rolled it into. So I got the Bitcoin down there at 1093. At the time I sold peak, Bitcoin was up here at 113. So I didn't just do a swap from peak to Bitcoin. I said, nope, I'm selling it for cash, for USD, and I'll hold the USD and wait and see what happens with FOMC. And Bitcoin dumped. So I was ready to buy Doge, but it was Bitcoin that dumped. So I bought the Bitcoin. So that was my trade. Now I need a red candle. Are you going to buy back into peak or are you going to buy something else? Is it a peak swing trade? Yep, it's already down to 966. See, you're already making money. Yeah, if it gets down to 869, that's a penny difference, right? Do you buy back in or do you wait for more? Don't be too greedy. Could an announcement of a new Fed Powell replacement be bullish outlook? No, I don't think so, because everyone knows it's going to happen. Powell's not so bad. I don't think so. Again, it's a board that makes the decision, not just Powell. He's the chair, but he doesn't make the decisions. The board does. Can he get people on the board to vote how he wants them to? Possibly. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. Grinder needs to box a brick wall today. Everybody has one of those days. I've had one for 2 or 3 days in a row. You guys probably could tell in the live stream. Yesterday it was a bit edgy as well. But I'm doing better today. It all comes around. Sold all the peak. Enjoying a beef carpaccio. I like it. Yeah, you can just buy a new iPad. But Charlotte says, no, I don't deserve it. You're just going to suffer through with the broken screen. Just suffer through, right? Finally getting some money back on the Trump coin. Thanks to CZ, if he's indeed buying Trump token. Like, Will, that would be a dream of mine. No taxes on US-based crypto. Do you know how much money that would save me? So much money. I just don't see it happening this year now. It's too bad. There's no news on X money. No new news. Poor Kriss. He's the guy who gets kicked when people can't find their token. Yep. Just take it out on me. I'm just in a better mood today to be able to take it. Yesterday I wasn't. And the day before was just weird. Mondays was just, stuff going on. I just was a little out of it. But I'm still here. I'm still here. You can or you can't. Oh, Ron. You'll just break it again. I was really hoping for today's meeting to get us in the green for the month. Nope, just a little volatility up and down. That's it. Don't forget to smash the likes, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Thank you, Kronos. So you're going to buy back into peak at a lower price? Wait for more? You're a greedy bastard. But you can't type that because your chat won't show up because that's one of those words that you can't type. Pengu. I haven't looked at Pengu today. I mean, the memes were doing okay today, so Pengu should have. Yeah, green, up. It's got to get, it dropped below its purple box, actually. So it's now coming back into the box if we zoom out. You always have to zoom out, right? But yeah, it's still kind of sideways. But I'll take it. 5.5% for the day. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the Trump thing. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. You saw the Celtics finally won their first game, right? So they're on a roll. They play Cleveland tonight. Cleveland is supposed to win the East, so be a tough game, but I bet if you remove the top line of the purple box, it'll give Doge the freedom to run up. It's being contained because of the line. Yeah. Well, if I got rid of the top line, all the purple filling would just spill out. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you. Kriss was shadow boxing his Fruit of the Looms. We'll just say, yeah, there's going to be some changes next year. They're going to come about. But that's next year. We got a ways to go. DB, you're going to have to follow along while you're driving. Yeah, you don't want to crash. Keep your eyes on the road. And your hands upon the wheel. Somebody once said that. Your hands upon the wheel. We're stuck in the curse of the purple box. See? See how it spreads? People make fun of my purple boxes, but I don't know how else to describe what has happened since October 10th, other than making these purple boxes. So people understand we are in a sideways market, and it is sideways. And it is just about every frickin' crypto, not stocks, crypto. This is only happening in the crypto market, just straight sideways. Like all of these cryptos are just nothing burgers, sideways, sideways, sideways. It's amazing that it's everything. I mean, look at all these. They're all the same. They're just not moving. So yeah, that's where we are. We're in a crab sideways market. Look at optimism. Usually optimism is volatile as anything. Look at this, just flattened out, nothing. So that's what we got. Yeah, Grinder, you'll get over it. Just don't dream about purple boxes. That'll be a nightmare. This morning's video was for some newbies, some people who are coming in new. Give them something to look for. You know, is Dogecoin a good investment? It was kind of like step back a little bit, and like I thought that was kind of a fun little topic to cover. It's like, and if you know, don't go all in, but if you've got like $500 and you can buy some Doge and try it out on the riskier side of your portfolio. I thought that was a good video. It was a good article to look at. Hey, Moff, yep. Before it gets crazy, we're waiting for that. Would I sell at 40 or 50? You know, once it gets up there again, I'll probably take a slice of profit again, just like I did last year. Not all of it. I'm going to sell in slices, little bits at a time, because we don't know. It hits 40 cents. Does it hit 50? Does it go to all-time high? We don't know. So we're going to take slices. I am anyway. I'll just tell you what I'm doing. H-bar, Luca? Yeah, H-bar is out of the box. Still holding out of the box. I thought it might drift right back in, and it didn't. This is one of the only ones that's out of the box. This and the Trump token. And Zcash, of course, never had a box. It just kept going up. Sunshine's going hiking to get away from it all. It's National Cat Day today. Is it really? Grok. Is today National Cat Day? Yes, today, October 29th, is National Cat Day. Huh. Well, look at that. There it is, October 29th, National Cat Day. Well, for all of you who have cats, happy Cat Day to y'all. I don't know where the Pax cat is. Good day, Aussie. How are you? A nothing burger, a rate cut, and a nothing burger at the same time, right? It was all priced in. With the government still shut down, Aussie, I don't think so. I think it'll be subdued. The magnet it was way up at 30 cents. I wasn't going to move it down. We just have to wait for the purple box of manipulation and suppression to be done. Oh, Pax Cat. With the purple hearts. I like that. Yeah, a crypto-wide holding pattern. Good way to put it. Dude. I don't know what dude is there. Channel 710. Dude. It's up 8% today. Since the big spike on October 6th, it's kind of going sideways from the 10th. But its purple box is, see what that looks like. This probably is much more than, yeah, it's like 22%. So yeah, it has traded out both above and below for doodles. So yeah, this thing can go on a run when it gets some action. Came down here to 007 and then came up to 008. So wait for it to come back down and buy on a dip to try that out. Can I move the purple box up? Hey, Anthony, how are you? Yeah, Compo, you never know. $500. That's what the article was about. I thought, yeah, it's a good thing to share. Talk about 2,500 Doge. Actually, you buy 19 cents, you get even more Doge than that, than 20 cents. Yep, H bar is over the price of Doge. I think it's going to be just for a short time, though, because H bar got its ETF, so it got a little pump from that. When Doge gets its ETF, it will pump back over H bar. That's my prediction. Mark my words. I have money tomorrow. Well, I think tomorrow might not be as good of a day to buy as today because of what we think is going to be the U.S.-China trade deal, and that news will be positive. So just remember that. For the Pax Cat. I get this feeling that it'll take just one crypto like HBAR to sustain a 3x or more to trigger alt season. Right, but it's Dogecoin that can do that, not HBAR. It would be Dogecoin. Doge does a 3x, alt season would be triggered. We saw that in 2021. That's what I think. The alts are mostly depressed, Aya, because there's so many frickin' too many of them. Millions and millions of alts. The money's all spread out. That's why. Too much dilution of too many alts. That's what I think. I mean, think about it. All those people that would have normally bought Doge are chasing all these other meme tokens. Millions of them. As opposed to 2021, when there were only a few. Seriously, it's a totally different market. That's why. Happy Cat Day. Yep, just kind of hanging out. Hanging out. Not much else going on over in stocks. Megal's all the way back to $1.40. So again, when it does its run after market, it's pretty quick. You got to be on it. And it's all the way back down. Zone is back to $1.09. Just stupid zone. After market, anything else moving? Amazon down a little bit. There's supposed to be big tech earnings or something, but I don't see any big movement going on. Well, not on anything that I follow on my watch list. Just stupid zone down. Google is flying. Yeah, I don't really watch Google. That's Alphabet, right? It's up 5% after market, after being up 2.5% for the day. Must have had good earnings for Google. Thanks for letting me know, Gurinder. Yeah. Those that know that it's Alphabet. Money flows from Bitcoin to ETH to Doge. That's how it happens most times, but Doge could go on a run. Right? Exactly, James. Too many cryptos. I agree. Yep, Google up. Yeah. Now it's about 4.75% after hours. Dogecoin and Doodles hanging on. Pengu as well. We're waiting. Maybe Doge will move out of the purple box when the government shutdown ends. I hope so. Meta's down 8%. Oh, they must have had bad numbers. Google is up. Good for you, Deep. Julian, I had some amazing trades today. Gapped 25% after earnings. Risky, but good luck. H-bar looks like the one to lead the race. It got a head start. I know, but nothing followed H-bar. That's the thing. I mean, Solana and Litecoin tried, but they didn't do what H-bar did. When Doge goes on a run, lots follow. That's the difference. Are we booming? If you hold Google stock, you're booming. NVIDIA yesterday, that was the big one, right? NVIDIA. Overnight, well, I think they start meeting like US time, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight, US time. So they're 12 hours ahead or something like that. Yeah, so by the time you wake up tomorrow, their meeting will be done and you'll just be reading the news in the morning. So it's going to be the Asia trading hours for crypto will be live when they meet. Still waiting on my greed in the market to sell. There's a lot of us like that. We have not had the big blow off top yet. Hasn't happened. Bitcoin has just been slow and steady with some breaks here and there. No blow off top. Flow serve is up. Yeah, I don't follow that, but good for that. As I said, Anthony, that Rex Osprey Doge ETF is nothing burger. I predicted that. I bought some, down a little bit from where I bought it, but I was supporting it. Waiting for Doge to go on a run and see what the ETF does. So by having some, it's easier for me to track it because I get the notifications and all that. But yeah, I said right from the start that Rex Osprey is low tier, not anywhere near the significance of Grayscale and Bitwise. So yeah, it's nothing. Good evening, RR. How are you? We're just hanging out. The FOMC ended up being a little bit of volatility, but in the end, not much. Yeah, NVIDIA just, I own a little bit of it, but I just bought some to follow it. It was just one of those things. Not near enough. Although in the Vanguard that I hold in my 401k, it probably has NVIDIA. So I do have exposure to it in my 401k plan. Yeah, I think the Solana one got started because of the way they filed their S1 Doge should be about a week later if it follows the same path. So we could be seeing a Doge ETF next week. We'll see. You bought NVIDIA at 90. Now it's over 200. Nice. You know, boss, you know, I wake up every morning and I just look at Zone and see whether it's flying pre-market again like it did a couple weeks ago, and it hasn't yet. It's just dead. I'm just like, man, missed that. Totally missed that when that happened. Oh. What will it take for the Fed to do another rate cut? Inflation numbers stay down. Unemployment stays level about where it is, and then there'll be a rate cut, in my opinion. But if inflation starts ticking up over the next month and a half, but I mean, they need to see the data, right? If the government is still shut down a month from now, they won't get their PPI data. So I don't know what they'll do then. If the government's shut down and they don't get the data, they don't get their numbers. You dodged the bullet with Zone. Is it a good buy right now? Yeah, somebody else bought it down at 106. I'd say that's a good buy. I'm sitting at $1.77 as my average price. Ouch. But I'm in it. A peak ETF. Nobody knows what peak is except us. The peak ETF, right? Tough market. But hey, it pumped 20% this morning, so can't complain, right? 20% pump. Will it hold? Raiden doesn't think so. He's swing trading it. We'll see what it does. BlackRock's Larry Fink just confirmed what crypto investors have long understood. If you want to protect your wealth and hedge against inflation, you buy crypto. Pump is up. AI stuff. Bitcoin back at the support area on the back of Powell talking. Wow, this Bitcoin chart goes back to the beginning of July and shows Bitcoin essentially trading sideways since July. As usual, FOMC jitters bring some downside. Hold this area, all is well. Lose it again, and it start looking dire. Interesting. Well, a lot of wait and sees. Doesn't feel like a weekend, right? It just feels like we should have had more excitement coming out of a rate cut, right? Should have been more excitement. Nope. Powell's term doesn't end until May 2026. We don't want to wait that long for alt season. Zone can move. We've seen it before. Yeah, one big crab for Bitcoin. Yeah, Gurinder, look at zone. Take a look at it. Why do you say no rate cuts in December? Did you see the odds? Con, you didn't see the odds. Let's see what they are now after this FOMC. 68%. 68% odds of another rate cut in December. So what do you mean? No, he didn't say that. Powell did not say that. Powell did not say that. No consensus on cuts, if that was the term, but maybe that was a poor choice of words. They need to see the data. They haven't talked about it yet. 68% for CME FedWatch tool. So, yeah, you can bet on this on Polymarket. But there is no data, exactly. So what are they going to do? And Powell was asked that direct question, and he didn't really answer it. The government doesn't know, Con. The government doesn't know. We don't know when the Senate is going to finally vote and end the shutdown. So they don't know. But you can bet on Polymarket. So, Con, go bet on Polymarket because your odds are pretty good right now. A no rate cut because 68% are saying there's going to be a rate cut. So go bet it. Make some money. Easy money. Easy money. Just like betting $99 to get $100 back on whether Powell would say good afternoon, which he did. You could have made $1. Just one of those things on Polymarket, right? Betting all kinds of things. Is Powell going to say good afternoon? You had to bet $99 to get $100 back. For that $1. Easy money. Rip government. Oh, well, that's what you think, Con. But there are more people who believe there is going to be a rate cut than don't. And the Russell was reacting to just the FOMC words. And the whole stock market went down during that same time period. It wasn't just the Russell. We looked at that earlier. You weren't here then. I'll bet 99K to get 1K for good afternoon. Next time, you can do that run on Polymarket. But that 99K, man. But that's what it was. That's what it was today. It was 99 to get 100. I know, it's too early to say. It's still 6 weeks out. A lot can happen. Exactly. A lot can happen. If the government is still shut down 6 weeks from now, we got bigger problems. That would not be good. That would not be good. So let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, gang, that's what we got for today. Hey, 19.5 cents. That's where we are. Still in the purple box. We're going to meet again tomorrow, and guess what? Everything's still going to be in the purple box. Nothing will change. Maybe we're going to be a little higher in the box, but still in the box. So that's what we have for today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, all of that. Hope everyone has a great evening. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And
arguably the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.